is Karen Brown. I'm the editor and publisher of The Oldish. You will find all of our articles at theoldish.com, and you can find us on all the social media channels, and our name is at The Oldish. I hope you'll stay with us. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some information and some questions that I got coming from a recent article we published about boomers using tech to stay in the game. And people were sort of mulling, what can I do at home? How do I do that? I don't know what I want to do. So I've got some ideas for you. And we're also going to look at the most popular articles from this past month. It always amazes me the things that people are searching for and interested in at any given time. Let's get started. Boomers using tech to stay in the game was the article that we published, and it was, of course, all about the ability that we now have in this age of everything technology to be connected with everything and everyone via our computers, cell phones, social media platforms, and nobody really knows where we are. So that enables people to start businesses. Now, if you are a boomer who has retired, you may be a little bit too young to sit around the house twiddling your thumbs, and you shouldn't do that anyway. But you have the opportunity to take maybe the one or two or three things you enjoyed most about the career you just retired from, and perhaps offer those as skills to other people who could use a little bit of help, consulting, encouragement, mentoring. Those are all good things. So let's see some of the things that you might be able to do. So if you're in banking or financial services of some kind, you might be able to run a small financial planning program for those who just don't quite know how to get started. You might not want to offer full-fledged financial planning services, and I think that unless you're licensed, you probably can't. But you could help people understand the difference between going to a bank versus going to a private financial planning firm, the kinds of things that they can do for you so that they have a little bit of knowledge and language before they make their choice and go in and sit down for that first discussion, which can be kind of intimidating. There are a lot of people out there who want to know how to pay bills online, but they're nervous about how to set it up. I know in this country, our national postal carrier, Canada Post, is currently on some sort of job action. It's rotating, and they have the potential to go on strike at any given time. Well, then what? How do we pay our bills? How do we get our bills to begin with? Regardless, some people just don't want to pay for stamps anymore. They want to have it all automated, or they want to learn to do it from their homes. You could maybe help them learn how to do that, because it really is pretty simple. The security aspect is the piece that makes people a little nervous, but you could help them with that too. Learning how to balance a checkbook. It may surprise you to know that a lot of people, women in particular, I'm sorry to say, but of a certain age, don't know how to balance their checkbook because their partner always took care of all of that stuff. And now maybe their partner is gone. Perhaps they've passed on or they've divorced, and these people just aren't really sure about how to balance their checkbook, how to reconcile the credit card statement. Those are services that you could provide. Teach them how to do that and let them be financially independent. So you're helping them advocate for themselves, really. And you know how I love advocacy. How about bookkeeping for a few clients? If you're good at that kind of thing, you could take on as many clients as you wanted. Now, granted, you're going to be busy at tax time, but you get to pick your clients. You get to pick who you work with and how often you work with them and what services you provide. Virtual assistant is another thing that could be any number of duties that you perform for busy executives, busy working moms, could be anybody. That could be kind of fun, a little bit of changing. Christmas is coming. Could you do Christmas shopping for people? They give you a list, they give you a budget, and off you go. You get to do all that wonderful Christmas shopping on somebody else's dime. Sounds like fun. Graphic design, personal wellness is a growing field. And if you were involved in anything having to do with that during your career, that might be something where you might take a piece and offer personal wellness training or consultation to somebody else. How about home crafter talents? The last couple of generations, we have totally lost all of those abilities to home cook, to sew, to fix things, to knit. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But now those kinds of talents and services are in demand. So sewing. How many times do I see on our local buy and sell somebody looking for somebody who can hem a dress, just a simple dress hemming, or take something in, or let something out. There are people out there who kind of chuckle and say, I can't even sew on a button, but you know what? Half of them are serious. They can't sew on buttons, and they end up throwing out perfectly good clothes rather than doing the repairs that would give life to that piece of clothing for another few years. Good services. You can advertise on the local buy and sell if you can do these things, but you can also advertise on the local buy and sell if you do these things just for giggles and you have them available to sell. For instance, woodworking, birdhouses. I know I've got birdhouses down here a little later on as a potential new hobby, but if you make them or any kind of decor for a home, you could sell that on your local buy and sell. Baby blankets, little socks and booties, you can advertise that on your local buy and sell. Or you could kick it up a notch and sell on Etsy. Have you ever thought of that? If you are a little bit more prolific with your crafting, Etsy, Amazon, you can sell on Amazon now. You can do all of these things, and people will really appreciate and I think treasure things that are homemade because they don't really know how to do it. Plus, they are one-offs. All right, it's not the same as something you're going to walk into Walmart or Target and be able to buy. You can't buy this stuff when somebody makes it by hand. How about direct selling? You know, that is still a very popular thing as I'm discovering, but as I have also discovered, how it's done is changing. When I was a young mom, direct selling of things like Tupperware happened at home parties. You went to somebody's house, or you were the one hosting and the consultant came to your house and you had to prepare some little finger foods and hors d'oeuvres and clean the house, and people would come and buy things. And as a hostess, you would get hostess rewards. That part still happens. But instead of happening in your home, it's happening on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. Imagine, you're already on Facebook because you're watching this. So check out with your friends and keep an eye on their feeds, because if they're doing any kind of direct selling, they may very well be doing it on Facebook, and you can take advantage of that. So the popular things that I'm seeing on Facebook are products like Scentsy, Tupperware. Tupperware is still around. 31, which is a company that makes bags and you can have them personalized and engraved with all kinds of things. Cabby is a clothing company. And one of the newest entries into the market is something called Color Street. Now that's, as I understand it, just available in the US now. It's coming to Canada, but guess what? I have Color Street. Yes, I do. I have a girlfriend who is a photographer and also a nurse, and she sells Color Street, and she's doing really, really well. So this is actually a brand new kind of thing. It's 100% nail polish, but it comes in strips. So it's not stickers. No, no, no. It is 100% nail polish, and you will know that when you open the package because it is nail polish. And you take it off with nail polish remover when you're tired of it. So that is a new entry into the market. So if you have any interest in doing direct selling, investigate some of those options. Consulting or coaching, again, this is based on the transferable skills that you acquired during your working years. But by transferable skills, I mean they are skills that can be applied perhaps to the business you worked in, but to other businesses as well. Things like marketing, social media training, writing, relaxation. A lot of people want to know how to relax while they're on the job. Organization. You know, organization is something that applies to not only our homes, but our home-based businesses and our businesses at work. How to develop better processes and systems to keep organized and get everything done, meet time schedules. People don't always know how to do that, and it is an acquired talent. So maybe they'd look for a little kick from you to learn how to acquire it a little faster. New hobbies. Now this is where I mentioned birdhouses before. Photography, pottery, anything that you may, during your working years, have thought, gee, I'd love to do that. I'd really love to do that. And then when you're retired, you have the time, so you go and you learn how to do it. And it becomes a skill that you can translate into income. That's a good thing. Community assistance with aging seniors, and I'm thinking in terms here of grocery shopping, a little light housekeeping, again, the virtual assistant piece for seniors who are aging at home, and for those of us who live in winter areas. The winter can be a very difficult time for people to get out and about. So having somebody who is able to provide that assistance is invaluable. So there are some tips for you. I hope that answers some of the questions that I got from people about, gee, I don't know what to do. Sounds like a good idea, but what should I do? That'll give you a place to start anyway. Now, speaking of lists, I don't like to talk too much about Christmas before Remembrance Day, but it is getting to be the time when I will revamp our Christmas list, which is always our most popular article on the Oldish. It was dating back to the days before the Oldish when I had a blog called myparentsareold.com. That doesn't exist anymore. That turned into the Oldish when there was a need for something bigger. But that list maintained. And every year I go through it and I take some things off and I put some new things on, and we put it out there. You know, there are a lot of people who they live in nursing homes or long-term care. They don't have room for a lot of things, but you want to get something for them to acknowledge the season. You just don't know what to get for them. So this list will help you with that. This list is also for people who maybe don't have a lot of money and they want to think of some ideas that will please and acknowledge the season for somebody who is special in their life. And again, it may be a friend, a neighbor, a loved one who doesn't have a lot of room or really doesn't need anything, but you just want to do a little something. So a bunch of ideas are coming your way. Keep your eyes open for that. We'll probably post that just after Remembrance Day, and I'm working on it, so stay tuned. As I said when we were starting the show today, it never ceases to amaze me the things that people are looking for. And we have nearly 1,400 articles on our website, theoldish.com, now. So you can search for just about anything. I'm going to show you how to search. I've got the Oldish open. And when you're a member, you have to be a member to be able to do this. Membership is free. I say that all the time. Membership is free. So up here is this little search bar. And you can put any search term in there that you want. You can put, let's say, gifts. Search. Are we coming up with anything? It's a little on the slow side today, but there we go. There are a bunch of articles that reference gifts, inheritances, gift ideas for grandparents, finding gifts, gifts for aging seniors. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. So that is how you search. You just go to this little search bar up here and you put in any search term, and it doesn't search just the titles of the articles. It searches absolutely everything that, every word that has been written. So you'll be able to find what you're looking for, guaranteed. All right, let's look at what you've been looking for the past month. The number one article that has been searched is hydrating jelly drops. This is a really fascinating story. It's a 24-year-old in the UK who spent a week at his grandmother's nursing home and noticed the difficulty that was had in keeping the aging seniors with dementia hydrated. So what did he do? He went and invented a product, and they are called hydrating jelly drops. There you go. So that is something that people are looking for, maybe because they're having trouble staying hydrated or keeping somebody hydrated, or maybe because they just want to see what this young fellow is up to. But it's an interesting story. Number two, chicken shots for knee pain. That is always a popular article. This is an FDA-approved treatment. It is an injection that is used to lubricate sore muscles, and it's made out of the combs of chickens and roosters. Very popular. A lot of people must be having knee pain. Another FDA article, FDA approves new treatment for age spots. Escada is an FDA-approved treatment for removing raised age spots. Now, isn't it the truth? We can inject Botox or Juvederm. We can put hand lotion on our hands. We can have a job done tightening skin on our faces or our necks. but even the lotion that you put on your hands only makes them look wonderful for a short period of time. Our hands always give us away. So there is now an FDA approved treatment for those age spots. Number 4, love, sex, and older age. So it goes without saying that there is no right time or wrong time to stop sexual activity. Many couples continue sexual activity in their 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. And I can tell you that nursing and long-term care homes are exploring, some of them are further down the path than others, but they're exploring ways to give couples their privacy instead of assuming that sex is a dead issue. It is not a dead issue until both people agree that it is a dead issue. So, if you're in your 20s or 30s, you got something to look forward to. Alrighty, friends with benefits after 50, still on the topic of sex, but on the same theme, many 50-plus seniors who've been divorced or widowed may not want to marry again, but they miss that closeness that comes with sexual activity. And remember, sex is different things to different people. For some, it might be just cuddling. For others, it might be everything. So, and everything in between. So, for those who really don't want the responsibility of another marriage, friends with benefits after 50, it really is a popular thing. Hair, we're moving on to hair. It's not your imagination. Hair texture can change with age is an article that is in what, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in number 6 position. So it's not just about hair loss or getting gray. It's about straight hair becoming wavy and coarse hair becoming thin and all the kinds of changes that happen with our hair as we age. And it is certainly a function of your diet. It's a function of the products you use. And yes, it's a function of our age. Moving on to number 7, the anti-aging benefits of intermittent fasting. Now that's something you want to check out with your doctor for sure, but there are people who are feeling that it's not really true fasting. It's taking your caloric intake down to 500 or 600 calories a day for 2 days in a row. And there is a feeling that doing that encourages the body to burn stored fat and treat risk factors for diabetes and heart disease. Again, check with your doctor before you undertake such a thing. Grandkids for hire with a new app. Grandkids on Demand is the new slogan for an app called Papa. It connects seniors with pals, who are usually college-age students who can do a number of chores that aging seniors may find a little bit difficult. So you can check that out if you are looking, as many people clearly are. They're looking for help with chores. As we approach the holidays, it's not a surprise to me that this article popped up on the popular list, Thanksgiving loss in the face of having lost a loved one. Many people are experiencing loss, have experienced loss over the past year, and as we approach that first holiday without the loved one, people are wondering how they manage to get through it, how they can practice old traditions without somebody there who was always a part of the tradition. So there are a lot of articles about grief and dealing with the holidays without your loved ones, whether it is a partner, a child, or a parent. Cosmetic whitening for older adults. There are a lot of ways to whiten your teeth these days. Everything from the dentist's chair to store-bought products. Looks like people are looking for ways to take that yellow off their teeth. The Butterfly program transforms dementia care. This is a really great program that shifts dementia care away from creating efficiencies, which is usually the process that facilities are looking for, to more person-centered care. Now, we've had discussions here before about what exactly is person-centered care, and facilities see it differently than we see it. A facility sees person-centered care as involving patients in the discussions and decision-making process. Patients, if you ask them, see person-centered care as having their health care focused on them and what they want and what they need. There's a difference between those two concepts. But the Butterfly program, when they talk about true person-centered care, they are talking about the way that we as patients see our care. That's a really good article. It's a really excellent program as well. The elderly are at greater risk for heel pain. So, plantar fasciitis can be a risk condition for not only younger people, but for older adults as well, because as we age, our feet widen and flatten out, which puts us at risk. So, that's a good article, and it's one that is clearly being sought. The last one on our list today is, when is edema cause for concern? Lots of people suffer from edema, or swelling is a more pedestrian term for it, but it's important to know when it's relatively normal for you and when it is a cause for concern and needs to be checked out by your healthcare professional. All right, so those are our articles for today. Please do search for whatever you need. As I said, we've got 1,400 articles, or approaching 1,400 articles in our library now. There is something for everyone. And do visit our website at theoldish.com every day, most days, 6 days a week. We publish new articles for you, and there's always a wide range of topics. Find us at our social sites, where we are at The Oldish. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. We'll be all the way into November then at 12 noon. We'll have another edition of The Oldish Live for you. Until then, please do take care of yourselves, and please do remember that it takes a village to age a senior.